And we're live. Hello all and welcome. And I'm the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. La la la. Why do I keep doing that? I don't know. Harkens me back to Seinfeld. Great show, by the way, if you're not familiar with where that is from. So I hope you've had a good weekend. Mine was meh. Lost computer access. So, yeah. The only way I can get online is, well, very limited. I can upload, but I can't upload videos. I can only upload this stream because it goes directly to a server, but I can barely get on any websites. I'm having problems with my internet. This is what happens when you don't live in the West. You get crappy internet. I've got the best internet for where I live, but it still sucks. And sometimes it goes down. It's been down since Friday. And I just want to let those of you out there know who support me on Patreon on my per piece Patreon. That's why I wasn't uploaded on Friday there on Patreon. And I don't know when I'll be able to upload there again, but when I do, I'll be making more uploads than the 3 I normally do a week to make up for whatever's lost during this time that I have no internet access. While I can upload this stream, I can't upload pieces. So there might be a time there where it seems like I'm over posting there, but it's not. It's just making up for what was lost. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a pain in the ass. Yeah, I had to... Anybody out there ever had to take your computer apart and do like maintenance, routine stuff like replace all the heatsink compound and clean all the connections and stuff? I had to do that yesterday. Oh my God. Talk about fucking tedious. You know those little gold leads when you take out like the memory cards and the processor? I had to clean all those with an eraser. That's how you clean those. You know, you'll know there's plenty of corrosion on there, even though you can't see it when the little bits of eraser coming off are, brown or black. And I had to clean all that, and then I had to remove all the old heatsink compound and replace all that. Oh, God. What a pain in the ass. That took forever. I hate that kind of shit. But I won't have to do it again, hopefully for 6 months to a year, although... It seems like the heatsink compound that I used isn't working so well. I think I think my processor's hotter than it was. Got my fans running real high. I hope you can't hear it. The gain on my microphone's turned down pretty low ever since I finally got it into my head that the people telling me I was screeching and sounding like... I was like, oh, okay, maybe my microphone intake is set too high, and sure enough it was. So... This microphone, it really isn't supposed to pick up anything that's not close to it. So hopefully you don't hear my fans roaring. I have like some industrial strength computer fans in my fucking computer, man. I mean, you could hear them. They're blaring away. So I think tomorrow I'm going to go get some... Because maybe it's because the heatsink compound I'm using I bought 5 years ago. When I started pushing out some of it with the plunger, I saw like there was separation, like this clear fluid. I think it was, it's old, so I might have to replace that. Also, I think that my CPU fan, it's not great. I mean, it says it's running at 2,000 revolutions per minute, but I don't know. Yeah, some of you out there are saying, Realist Philosopher, why don't you get into the 21st century and get a liquid-cooled unit? I thought about it. My next computer, I think, will be liquid cooled, but that's expensive, isn't it? At least when I bought this new computer about a little over 5 years ago, when I bought this new, they were expensive. Maybe the price has gone down, but for those of you who don't know, you can get liquid cooled now, where this unit attaches to like the main processor, and instead of a fan, it continually circulates the fluid, and it goes to a radiator, like with a car, which then has a fan that blows out any heat that is diffused into the radiator itself, and it's supposed to be much more effective. But from what I understand, the only people that need those are people that like do hardcore gaming and shit. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, this fan I think is like 7 years old. It's holy shit, how old is this fucking fan? 8 years maybe, 8.5. Yeah, I should probably get a new fan. It's a very nice, it's a big high fucking cooling tower. But I should probably replace that. Yeah. Anyway, who gives a fuck about my computer maintenance, right? Maybe some of you geeks out there too. And I say that not in a negative way, but in a positive one. But most of you really don't give a fuck. Okay, so let's move on, shall we? Yeah. All right. Might get a new router too, by the way. I still got the one from the fucking computer company. Doesn't look that great. I have people telling me you can get a better one at the store. I'll see. All right, let's see what's going on here in the news. AOC, oh God. Can't she get out of the news? I mean, she's worse than Trump. I love when people try to conflate these two people. Well, she says dumb things, but so does Trump. And he's president. You know, I don't necessarily know that he says stuff that's all that dumb. I think he's very informal. And yeah, okay, he says some erroneous things sometimes. But so what? To compare these two people, I mean, come on. She's a former bartender slash waitress. What was she again? I don't know what the hell she did. Does anybody out there know what her job was? It doesn't seem like anybody knows. Some people say waitress. Some people say bartender. I honestly don't think she's smart enough to even be a bartender. I really don't. I don't think she could remember the drink recipes if her life depended on it. Oh, man. But former bartender, and compared to what? Billionaire? Billionaire? Let's say something I've never said before. Coffee's too cold. Fuck. It's usually too hot. Oh, fuck. So, yeah, what the hell? Where's the comparison? You got all these dumb liberals saying, well, he only got his money from his daddy. You know, he has a bunch of brothers and sisters. Yeah, there was an inheritance that was split between all of them. And the guy's grandkids as well. The grandkids being of Trump's father, who's been long dead. So, I don't know. I mean, he didn't get that much money. Yeah, he got some millions. But not billions. Not hundreds of millions. He got somewhere in the 10 million, 15, maybe not even. But you get 10 million bucks. And you're able to spin it into billions of dollars in what is essentially the most difficult industry in the world, which is real estate. Fuck me. That's a real smart fucking guy. Don't tell me that him and AOC are in any way, shape, or form the same. Oh my God, comparing those two. It's not even apples and oranges. Come on. It's like apples and Buicks or some shit. There's no comparison there. I hate the idiots that do that. They make these retarded conflations. He said something dumb. She said something dumb. Dare to say. Ooh. Really? That's your only point of comparison? Okay. Oh, my lord. This bitch can't stay out of the fucking news. And, you know, I'm thinking to myself at one point, nah, there's no way she'll get reelected because she's shown her true colors, right? Everybody sees how dumb she is and what an embarrassment she is. How embarrassing it is that we voted for this idiot. Oh, my God. The people in her district, that is. The whole, 7% that came out to vote? All Latino. Most of them didn't even know they had an old white guy representing them. Joe Crowley? Who's that? He's representing our district. I had no idea. And he's being challenged by this young Latino girl. Hey, I'm Latino, and I've been indoctrinated to lack identity politics and to vote along identity lines. Let's vote for her, even though I've never voted before. I relate with her. She's a bartender. Yeah. Boy, our standards have really dropped, haven't they? I mean, the bar has fucking dropped real low. Not that being a politician has ever been that high a calling to begin with. It's generally a job taken by people who can't find real jobs, but can't hack it in the real sector. But come on. They used to at least have some brains. They used to have some ability to be Machiavellian and conniving and cunning, and there was some intelligence there at least. But now, or at least motivated self-interest, right? You knew what they would be doing based upon what served their own best interest. But this broad is a zealot, an ideologically polarized zealot who is just acting along her ideological lines of socialism and collectivism. All these isms, collectivism. Ooh, what a bunch of nonsense collectivism is. Why does anybody out there buy that? Could you tell me? There's no such thing as a collective we, okay? This is an abstract idea that is designed to get you to give up your freedom to this all-encompassing thing that doesn't exist. Oh, the many are more important than the one. There is no many, okay? There is no collective. There's just people. There's individuals, okay? There's no collectives. This is just an abstract idea that doesn't exist in reality. Everyone's best interest. Well, you want to know what serves everyone's best interest best? Their individual self-interest. Right. People's motivated self-interest. People doing what is in their individual self-interest. That's what promotes prosperity. Not some idea of some huge collective who has an interest of its own. But there is no you. There's no who because it doesn't exist. It's just a bunch of people who lack self-identity, who lack any ability to, be a person, to want to live free and unencumbered and make their own decisions and be responsible for their own actions. So they all come together and proclaim, we are one! We will rule you through the tyranny of the collective. Yeah, talking about oppressed minorities. You want to know the smallest minority? It's the individual, right? Yeah, but they don't want you to think about that, right? Ah, boy, yeah, what a dopey broad. Dopey broad. Yeah, she's been at it again, talking about minimum wages. Oh, God, it's evil. It's evil that people get paid so little. The government needs to come in and legislate. Businesses pay more. Yeah, because that's the best way to do things, right? Get the government to do it. Of course, if you get the government to do it, all that happens is the government gets bigger. Because it has to get bigger. Because it has to hire people to oversee this stuff. There have to be whole departments. We got a new minimum wage law in the food and beverage industry. Okay, let's hire 10,000 more bureaucrats to oversee that on a national level. Yeah. Great idea. We need more bureaucrats, don't we now? Oh, boy. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez bartends in Queens to push for higher minimum wage. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, that's lovely. I'm just like you. The problem is she is just like them, and the people that she's like are mostly morons because the majority of people are morons. Ocasio. What a sad state of affairs. Okay, there's nothing here. It's just a video, I guess, and I hate when that happens. You open up a story and you think it's going to be a story, and it's just some fucking video with a byline, and then you're supposed to watch the video. I don't want to watch a video with her in it. I like that little kid, though, that mini AOC. Have you seen her with the red lip gloss and the big, gigantic glasses? Like Dustin Hoffman wore in Tootsie? Or Jackie O's big sunglasses. Yeah, like she was hiding her identity. Well, wore with that headscarf thing she wore and the big gigantic glasses. You probably couldn't tell who she was. That's so funny. The little kid. I have to wonder how much of it she's coming up with herself and how much the parents are coming up with. I think the same thing about that Soph kid who was very crude, and she's spouted out a lot of obscenities, and she was only like 13 or something, and YouTube kicked her. Well, hey, wait, liberal scum! What happened to not attacking children, not criticizing children? They're just little children. You shouldn't be attacking them. They'll need a safe space. They're snowflakes. They're kids. You should leave them alone. Only if they're liberals. If they're conservative kids, you can crack their skull with a bike lock. Oh, okay. Okay, so here's this text story. Ocasio. I'm gonna bartend. Yeah, again. Yeah, you're getting practice for when you don't get reelected. But I think she probably will get reelected. This is the scary part. She's so dumb. And I realized it didn't take much. I was like, okay, they'll see how dumb she is. But that's what'll get her reelected, because they'll relate to her even more. Because they're just as dumb as her. Maybe even dumber. That's the really scary part. The majority of her district are a bunch of Latinos. Now, of course, what's her name? Nancy Pelosi has been talking about getting rid of AOC's district. Yeah, that's going to help. She'll just move to another district and get reelected from that district. Social Democrats will just move her around. Yeah. She's too hot a commodity. She's a great puppet for us. We can't lose her. Ocasio-Cortez says that a 213 tipped minimum wage is indentured servitude. Ah, boy. You got to love the hyperbolic speech, huh? It's indentured servitude. That's essentially slavery. I owe somebody some money. So I'm going to have to indenture myself and become their servant to pay it off. That's indentured servitude. Taking a job willingly and making money off your work, that's not indentured servitude. So she doesn't know what the term indentured servitude means, but she's an idiot, right? Yeah, willingly taking a job and working for a wage, that's slavery, don't you know? Doesn't pay enough. The job doesn't pay enough. Yeah, because it's government jobs to force employers to pay more than they can afford. And then the business goes out of business. I love how the government, and especially really idiots like this broad, think that businesses aren't paying as much as they can afford for labor. Now, sometimes that's actually true. But, you know, a lot of the time, they're making razor-thin profit margins. And especially, in fact, some of the smallest profit margins in business are in the food and beverage industry. Bartending, bars and restaurants, they have very small profits. They're paying as much as they can friggin' afford to pay these people. Now, I'm not so sure a bartender should be making so little because there's actual skill involved in that. You have to mix drinks. Well, right, that's true. How many people are all that sophisticated? Give me a cosmopolitan. I want a screwdriver. Nah, they come in the order of fucking beer. Beer, wine, Jack. Meat on the rocks. I mean, come on. That's about as sophisticated as most people are. I guess a monkey can pour liquid into a glass, so, okay. 213 tip minimum wage, man. And how difficult is it to carry food from the kitchen to a table? Carry the food from the kitchen to the table. That's very easy. You'll never become one of the 1% that way. Oh, we must steal the money from the 1% because the only skills that you have is carrying food from the kitchen to the table. It's not fair that you make so little. Bernie. It's not fair. You need to make more. I will help you make more by stealing it from the wealthy, the 1%. But Bernie, aren't you the 1%? That's what I'm a government employee. I'm the one stealing from the people who are not the 1% and the 1% too. It's people not in government that I will steal from and give to myself and give to you too. Because I'm like Robin Hood. But I steal and give to myself also. Oh, wow, you're great, Bernie. Yeah, how magnanimous of you. All right, so, yeah, Ocasio thinks it's indentured servitude as she returned to New York to waitress and bartend. Waitress and bartend? Yeah, they're not the same thing. Are you telling me, I mean, you stand up behind the fucking bar. You pour a drink, you give them the drink. That's considered waiting? I guess waiting on people. Technically, okay. For the first time since being elected to Congress, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez said the federal tip minimum wage was tantamount to indentured servitude. Tantamount. She don't even know what that word means, I'm sure. Pinhead. Before she rose to national fame as the representative for New York's 14th Congressional District, the 29-year-old from the Bronx worked at a Mexican restaurant in Manhattan. Was it a taco bar? Was she making tacos behind the bar? Was it one of those bars that had like the little tiny kitchen behind the bar along with the drinks? And in addition to pouring drinks, you would also have to drop the fucking beer battered shrimp and the little fucking hot wings into the oil. I wonder if she had to do both and make tacos too. Is it cultural appropriation if she makes them because she's from Puerto Rico? I'm a Puerto Rican Latino person. Cultural appropriation! Tacos are not indigenous to Puerto Rico. Ah, well. Small detail. We won't hold you to the same standards we do Whitey, even though we stole his culture long ago. And then we whitewashed it later by saying, meh, Whitey has no culture. Oh, okay. On Friday, she went back to waiting tables and mixing drinks. I don't think she can mix drinks. I really don't. She might know 5 drinks. In support of one fair wage, a policy that would entitle tip workers to a minimum wage of $15 an hour, plus tips. Let me. Okay, so let me understand this. All right, you want to increase the wage by almost 7 times. No, she wants to increase it 7 times, more than 7 times. Oh. Wow, okay, so yeah, let's increase the wage by 7 times for waiters and waitresses. What's going to happen? You're going to have less waiters and waitresses, because, hello, restaurants are very low profit businesses, okay? You got to pay staff, you've got food costs, you've got overhead, and then whatever's left over, that little tiny bit is profit, okay? And then you might not even get paid. If there's, there may be no money to pay for you and for your job as the manager/owner. It's a very razor thin. You've all seen that show with Gordon Ramsay. Is it Kitchen Nightmares? All these people trying to open up restaurants, and the profit margins are so slim. It's really competitive market, really competitive. Yeah. Yeah. Because the job that a monkey can do should be making $15 an hour. I understand this. I love this entitlement. People, they should be paid what I think they should be paid. They should not be paid what they have the ability to do. There's no market value, right? There's no market value for work anymore. You're a monkey who carries a fucking plate of food from the kitchen to a plate, or you're a guy fixing cars. You should make the same. You should make exactly the same. Everybody should make the same. There should be no competition. There should be no differences. Everybody should be equal. Yeah, Bernie. Okay. Yeah, because there's no such thing as human capital, right? Because there's no such thing as, 10% of the wealth that's out there that we see. All the wealth that we see out there is only really 10% of the actual wealth. 90% of the real wealth out there is human capital. So human capital is far more important than what you see, what you hold, what you touch, what you taste, what's already been produced. It's the human capital, the skills and abilities people have to be able to produce things. That's where the real value lies. But I really shouldn't have to develop my human capital. I should just be able to do nothing, sit in school, chew fucking gum, pick my nose, laugh at the teacher, beat up the teacher if what I'm seeing on fucking YouTube videos is emblematic of what's going on in today's schools. Be a delinquent, go to prison, rob a liquor store, and then, after I develop no skills, put no time, no effort, no resources into developing any human capital, I should go out, get a job at Mickey D's, and get paid $15 even though I'm only producing $7 worth an hour in value. Oh, yeah, because reasons. God. This just pisses me off. Why would an employer pay people $15 an hour when they get robots? I've been to restaurants, okay? I'm not going to say where, it's not important. But I've been to restaurants that have robot waiters, okay? I've been to restaurants where they have robot waiters. This little fucking robot, it doesn't look like R2, by the way, but it rolls up to the fucking table. Hello, can I help you? It'll talk to you. And you say, yeah, I'll have a number 1. I'll have a number 2. Or you actually say what you want. And voice recognition software processes your order and sends it to the fucking kitchen. Thank you. I will be back with your meal shortly. And then 5 minutes later, this little fucking robot comes back with your meal that the fucking chef put on the little fucking plates around its head. And it found you via motion sensors and knowing exactly which table you are. It's got a little fucking map in its head how to get to where you are. And it brings you your food. Right? You take the food off. Here you go. Have a nice day. If you need anything, please call. Push the button. There's a little fucking button on the table. Would you like a refill? It comes back. You put the fucking glass on the thing. It comes back with a refill. $0 an hour. Minus whatever fucking electricity is going into charging these little things and, maintenance and upkeep and such. But there you go. Problem solved. We just solved your problem, Ocasio. Your concern for the poor, pathetic workers of the world who don't want to put any time or effort into developing human capital. Now they have 0 jobs, you dumb bitch. Now, of course, when you have such a low hourly wage, first of all, that low wage is misleading because you get tips, okay? You'll get tips. Now, when I was in school, when I was in uni, I worked as a waiter, and I've worked as a fucking dishwasher and a waiter, and I'll tell you what, you can make some good money, all right? If you hustle, you can make some really good money as a waiter. And that's kind of the whole point, right? You're not getting this big hourly salary, so I don't really give as much a fuck about the service I'm offering people. No. You're making a piddly little amount because, the job has to take into account that you're getting more than just that hourly wage. You're getting tips as well. So you could be making $15, $20, $25, $30 an hour, even more. I remember some broad, she had the big, gigantic rack, and she would open her fucking shirt up. She'd make 2-3 times what everybody else did. That's reality. Deal with it. I'm not going to complain and say, that's unfair. She's getting tipped for her tits. She should give me some of her money. Well, in that situation, she has some human capital, something that the people there value that I didn't have. What's Ocasio's solution to that? What's your solution? Turn me into a tranny and get me a tit job? So that I can walk around with my shirt open and get more tips? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you force the government to make these fucking businesses pay more money. You know what's going to happen? They'll get rid of waiters. Or they'll hire less waiters, and then the waiters that are there will have more of a burden put on them. And of course, eventually, they'll just get rid of waiters. There's already companies out there online selling waiter robots. You want to phase out expensive overhead? You want to phase out expensive employee costs? Well, get rid of your waiters. Hire a robot waiter. They already exist. They've existed for a while. You already got fucking McDonald's and all these other fucking fast food joints pushing the a kiosk where you order your own food. Why have people I have to pay? I mean, sure. Okay? Eventually, these businesses will, they'll get robots and they'll upgrade their technology anyway, okay, to reduce staff costs. But when you start artificially raising the minimum wage, it's going to happen sooner because employers now need to save money. No longer can they hire somebody and pay them $2 an hour. Now they have to pay 7-8 times that amount. Well, that's going to motivate them to much more quickly buy robots. And again, what's going to happen? You will have unemployed a lot of people, AOC. She's so stupid. She's so stupid. Oh, my God. The federal minimum wage for restaurant and bar workers and other tip-reliant jobs, such as nail salon workers, is just $2.13 an hour. Although the minimum wage in New York is $15 an hour, this does not apply to tip workers who can be paid as little as $7.50. Too much. Still too much. Look, don't incentivize people to take shitty jobs. I don't understand this. So if the job pays $2.13 an hour, don't take it. You don't like what the job pays, don't take the fucking job. I don't think some of you out there understand that this is socialism. This is socialism. This is the ways and means of production, treating everything as a collective, applying collective measuring sticks to everything. Minimum wage, $15. What are you talking about? I run a restaurant here. I have razor-thin fucking profit margins as it is. If I have to pay these people this much, not only will I have no profits, I'll have to lay a bunch of people off. Oh, well, not my consideration. We treat everyone the same, even though all businesses are different and have different overhead costs, different labor costs, different profit margins. But not our business. Not our problem. Apparently it's your business, but not your problem. You could give a fuck, right? They shouldn't be meddling in the private market, all right? They shouldn't be meddling in the private market at all. Keep your nose out of the private fucking market. And if the job pays $2 an hour, oh well, maybe that'll incentivize people to get better jobs, to develop more human capital. See, one of the bigger problems that people don't address, in addition to these minimum wage laws, unemploying people by raising staff costs to such an extent that employers can't afford to pay them, or if they can, they have to pass the cost on to the customer, and that it incentivizes people to adopt automation sooner. The other problem is it incentivizes people to be lazy schlubs and not develop the human capital because they're not having to suffer the consequences of their actions, or should I say lack of action, by going out there working hard, developing human capital so they can make good money. I'll just run to the government. I can be a lazy bum, not develop my human capital, not learn anything of any real value, but I should still get paid. Okay, I have no ability. I pick up a basket of fries. I put basket of fries in hot oil. A thing goes, dee! I pull it out of the fucking hot oil and I hang it so that the oil drips out. This disgusting, fucking starch-ridden, nasty, used oil that I'll then put another fucking batch of fries in after this batch runs out. That's the extent of my human capital. Well, anybody can do that. Okay? Anybody can do that, okay? Retarded people can do that. Down syndrome babies can do that, okay? Well, once they grow up. People suffering from fetal alcohol syndrome that have IQs rated below Down syndrome babies can do that. When that's your only human capital, yeah. Anybody can do it. You're not going to make much money. You ever heard of scarcity? You ever heard of supply and demand? Well, when there's a huge fucking supply, like everybody, you don't make much money, Pinhead. Why didn't you learn something that is a little more scarce, huh? Well, I couldn't be bothered. I was spending too much time playing video games, picking my ass, sucking on fucking glue fumes. Oh, that's some good stuff. Spending too much time huffing. That's what they call it. Smoking weed and doing nothing of value. Well, then you make $2 an hour. How hard is that to comprehend? Oh, but here comes AOC. Well, you can be a lazy bum and develop no human capital and essentially do a job that a monkey can do, but I'm going to make sure you get paid way more than you're worth. Well, of course they're voting for her. Of course. No accountability. Woohoo! Party time on other people's money. And you, the consumer, suffer because it drives up costs for everybody. Yeah. Great. Great. She's such a genius. Oh, boy. What a dummy. All right, let's move on. Yeah, that's going to work out well. Yeah. I foresee in the next 5 years, many restaurants in America will have robots or something. There's a lot of different ways that it gets done. So I've seen some restaurants where you actually wouldn't have a waiter at the point of service, but you'd be sitting at your table and there's a little microphone and a little speaker in the middle of the table, and then somebody from the kitchen, what would you like? And then you tell them, and okay, and then your order comes out, and that way you don't have as many trips. You don't have a person coming to your table and going, there's somebody coming with the food instead of initially waiting on you. It makes things more efficient. They have more time to circulate around to more tables. Or I've seen restaurants where they have a totally automated setup and the little robot comes out. Or your food just gets put on a fucking platter and you have to go get it yourself. Oh, well, no more waiters or waitresses. I did this idea. I must carry food from point A to point B. I should make big money. You're a Sherpa. You're a glorified Sherpa. And you're not even carrying 100 pounds in your fucking back. Like those little fucking guys marching up Mount Everest. Like a 150-pound pack on their back. Like they're carrying more than their own body weight. Like around the turn of the century, you'd have those Europeans trying to climb up Everest without oxygen tanks. And they'd have little Sherpas carrying everything. And they're like on holiday. Trying to climb up Everest. They got like 2 pounds on their back, and the little Sherpa's carrying a 150-pound pack. This little fucking guy. It's like, Jesus Christ, this fucking guy, he can mule a lot of shit. What are you carrying? 2 plates. You're carrying like 500 grams of weight, and you want to be paid $50 an hour. That little Sherpa, he's making like $1 a day, American. And you're complaining about $2 an hour, plus tips. Unbelievable. The entitlement of some people. Makes me angry, obviously. All right, let's move on. So, y'all heard about the Virginia beach shooter? These stories don't interest me, by the way. These mass shooter stories, it's always the same line, all right? If it's a black guy or a brown guy, they ignore it and you never hear about it. If it's a white guy, Oh, white supremacy. He's on the right. He's far right terrorist. Yeah, okay. You got to demonize Whitey and ignore Blackie and Brownie. I see. That's pretty much how it goes. So it's such an old trope, I just ignore it. It's the same narrative time and time again. If I had somebody ask me to talk about it and big news, blah, 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 let's see what's going on here. Accused Virginia shooter wished coworker a good day before the rampage. He's polite. He's polite. He has good manners. How you doing? You have a good weekend? Pow! One to the kisser. Woo! Better than that broad you didn't hear anything about. Remember that nutty broad from YouTube a while back? She had a YouTube channel that got deleted, so she went to YouTube and started shooting people. You didn't hear about that too much on the news, did you? You're going to hear about this, though, because it was a white guy, I'm imagining. I'm guessing it was a white guy because I'm hearing about it. If it was a black guy, it would have gotten buried, right? I need more coffee. Well, I don't need more, but I notice my cup is empty, so, why not? Well, probably because I'm already pretty buzzed, but what the fuck? What the fuck? Why not? I can, All right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Well, why don't we pay that little man in Colombia that picks the fucking coffee beans? Why don't we up his salary? Well, we're not in charge of fucking Colombia. Well, we should pay more anyway. We should offer to pay the fucking coffee company so they can pay the employees more money. We should offer that. Yeah. I'm sure AOC wants to pay more for her fucking coffee. She doesn't care. She doesn't have to bear the burden, the cost of all these changes. So what the fuck does she care, right? I will let you signal to make sure that I get re-elected. Well, that's what my handlers tell me to do because I can't really think for myself. I'm just doing what they tell me. That's the future of politics. A bunch of puppets. Bunch of fucking puppets. Carrying out the agendas of others. AOC is nothing more than an actress, a shill. All right, let's just this shooter dude. All right, let's see here. Accused Virginia shooter. While police have vowed to utter the name of the suspected Virginia Beach shooter only once out of respect to the victims, many of those who have personal interactions with longtime city worker Dwayne Craddock. Dwayne will likely have a hard time forgetting it, especially since they say he gave no signs of the impending carnage, and that would leave 12 coworkers dead. Dwayne, is that a white guy's name? Come to think of it, the only reason I heard about this is kind of one of my viewers told me. Maybe he was black. I don't know. Let me do some research. Woo! Oh, that'd be interesting. Let me see. Dwayne. Well, that's a weird name. Dwayne Craddock. Dwayne. Stupid name. I don't know. Okay, Dwayne Craddock. Let me see. Dwayne Craddock. Let's see if his picture pops up. Oh, right. It's not working. I can't even get Yahoo to work. Yahoo opens, but then when I try to do a search, I get nothing. Oh, man. Oh, boy. My internet sucks big time. Really bad. All right, let's try another. He's black. Okay, what the fuck do I know? I said he was a white guy. I said he must be because I heard about it. But then when I think about it, I didn't hear about it on the mainstream news. I only heard about it from one of my viewers. So, yeah. Okay, so the mainstream media probably isn't covering it. All right. Let's see here. Dwayne. What a horrible name. Who names their kid Dwayne? I see that name on a job application. I'm going, meh, trouble. He's too ethnic. He's got too much of his identity tied up in his culture. He doesn't think of himself as a real American, or his parents don't, hence he doesn't either. What is it with you black people? You can't choose normal names. I'm sorry. It seems like every black woman I meet, if she's from the West, she has some weird made-up African name. Have you noticed that? Like Lashwida, Lakanda, Lakudubida. It's like, I've met a lot of African people, and it's like, none of them ever have these weird names. These made-up African-sounding names that like like these black Americans come up with. They're such fake black names. They think this sounds ethnic, but they just made it up. It's not like they bought some big giant book of the big giant book of African names. You can make sure that your kid is racially accurate, that he has a name that matches his race. Yeah. Okay, but they don't match. There are always these made-up names. Dwayne. I already knew he was black when I heard the name. Why don't you name your son John or Henry? I mean, come on, you're living in America now, okay? Yeah, I'm an American, but I choose to identify as an African. See, that's your problem. That's your problem, black people. You don't want to assimilate into a culture that you've essentially lived in, grown up in. But I don't want to identify as an American. I'm an African. Have you looked at Africa? It's a disaster. Why would you want to identify with that? They can't even make a working plane there without a white man to help them. It's true. You're like, go on YouTube and search. I'm going to say Google, but you could Google it too. Africans trying to build planes. It's hilarious. They've got the blueprints and everything, and they still can't build a simple biplane. It's crazy, man. It's so funny. Jesus, did they even have the wheel? Yeah, boy, before we came and, we colonized. Oh, we're so evil. We gave them modern agriculture and wheels, but we're so bad. Yeah. All right, so while police have vowed to utter the name none, Dwayne Craddock will likely have a harder time forgetting it, especially since they say he gave no signs of the impending carnage that would leave 12 of his coworkers dead. Even moments before the shooting broke out, just after 4 p.m. on Friday, Craddock wished a coworker good day during a chance encounter in the bathroom. I said, "How you doing?" He said he was doing okay. Craddock's former coworker Joseph Scott told CNN, "Joseph Scott's white." White name. Yeah, he's not named Deshaun or Dwayne. I asked, "Any plans for the weekend?" And he said, "No." "Well, have a good day." Can you imagine that? Woo! Oh, my Lord. Talk about being detached from reality. Talk about, good Lord. "Have a good day." Bam! And he said the same to me. Scott said he left the office for the day following the conversation. It was after that conversation that police say Craddock opened fire indiscriminately on multiple floors. I thought only white people were mass shooters of this nature, stopping only when police fired back, killing him after he allegedly shot an officer. These cops had balls. What happened to those cops at that school? They were too big of pussies to go in, and that sheriff making excuses for them. "It's not my job to protect and serve." Isn't that in the motto? Why Craddock, a civil engineer? I thought that black people couldn't advance to high levels of achievement in their work environment. They couldn't get good jobs. He's a civil engineer. Don't you have to have at least a master's degree for that? What happened to the narrative that Blackie can't get ahead in America? That all white people have hoods in their closets? That we're really all KKK members, and that we're trying to keep Blackie down? What happened to that narrative? He's a civil engineer? Oh my God. What's he freaking out for and shooting people? He's successful. He's a successful individual, yet he's freaking out and gunning down a bunch of his fellow coworkers. He swallowed the Kool-Aid big time, didn't he? A civil engineer who had been with the Coastal City's Department of Public Utilities for almost 15 years allegedly. Isn't it on video? I thought it was on video. What's with the allegedly? And he's dead. What's with the allegedly? I'm going to remove the allegedly. He gunned down his coworkers. The reason is still unknown, while some reports have described him as disgruntled. No shit. Yeah, he's not. Guy goes to his work and kills a bunch of his coworkers. I would say he's disgruntled, yeah. In addition to other things, he's a loon. He's a fucking loon. And disgruntled, yeah. Police Chief James Cervera on Saturday disputed claims that Craddock had been fired before the shooting, stressing that he was still employed at the time of the attack. He wasn't fired? Who knows? City officials have declined to release information from Craddock's personnel file, but a source on Saturday said that there were no warning signs in his behavior until recently, when he allegedly started getting into scuffles with other city employees. Scuffles? Why do I get the feeling that this guy got into university and got his engineering degree through affirmative action channels. In the past week, the source said Craddock was warned that disciplinary action would be taken against him following an altercation, according to the Times. I'm confused. Who gets a job as a civil engineer and then starts fistfights at work? You're in a very professional environment. You're in a suit and tie environment. Aren't you kind of like a low-level bureaucrat in a sense? Why is he getting into fights with people? See, he's out of his element, okay? I'm sensing low IQ here. Low IQ people resort to violence, all right, when they get stressed. Not high IQ people, not generally. I mean, maybe he was having some difficulties in his personal life and that spilled over into work. We don't know. Prior to the rampage, Craddock had no criminal history apart from several traffic violations over the years, court records show. He graduated with a degree in civil engineering. No, you don't say. He works in civil engineering and he has a degree in civil engineering? No shit. From Old Dominion University in Virginia. Old Dominion? Sounds like the Cracker Barrel. It sounds like some old fogey restaurant that you go into and you get $20 off with a coupon or something. Old Dominion. Yeah, okay. I never heard of that university. And enlisted in the Virginia National Guard in 96. 96? So he's not a young man either. As part of the Guard, he was assigned to the 1st Battalion, 111th Field Artillery Regiment in Norfolk, Virginia. As a cannon crew member, according to State National Guard spokesman, he was discharged in 2002 at the rank of specialist for reasons the National Guard would not disclose. I know a little about the military. If they're not going to disclose the reasons, then he did something. You don't just get discharged like that and they won't reveal the reasons. That's odd. That's very odd. So he might have had an unstable personality and they may have known it, which is why they probably don't want to release their reason for discharging him. Neighbors have, because people are always looking for somebody to vilify, right? Neighbors have described Craddock as a quiet man who showed no red flags but tended to keep to himself. That always seems to be the case with these people, doesn't it? He was a loner. I thought that weird smell coming from his apartment was just, cabbage. Because he cooked a lot of cabbage. No, he had 57 bodies rotting in fucking vats and big giant barrels and shit. Jeffrey Dahmer. These people always keep to themselves. Loners. He said he worked for the city. Neighbor Christian Cobble told the Washington Post, saying Craddock was humble and average. He seemed like an all right dude. What the hell do you know? I guess you never know what someone is going through. Yeah, neighbors told local reporters Craddock was a member of the neighborhood association board and that his wife had left him some years ago. Sounds like he has anger management problem. I'll bet she left. Good thing she got out. She'd have probably been next on his hit list, or she probably would already be dead if she had stuck around. Cassidy Howerin lived directly below Craddock. Cassidy, white, and told CNN he was regularly awake during all hours of the night. You heard him walking around. You heard him walking? Old building in America. Old wood structure, no insulation in the flooring or walls. He would drop stuff at 2 a.m., and me and my roommate would try to figure out what he was doing. Maybe it was bodies. We don't know. Tear up the floorboards in his house. You'll find a couple Puerto Ricans, his former maids. By the time Howard would wake up and leave at 7 a.m., he was gone. I never saw him take trash out. Never saw him bring groceries in. Never saw people coming in or out. He was very to himself. Well, I never seen any of my neighbors bring groceries in, too. So the fuck what? I'm sure they never see me bring groceries. I put them in my fucking backpack. What the hell does that mean? Craddock's former co-worker, Scott, told CNN CNN? Oh, please don't talk about CNN. Fake news. Told CNN he always viewed him as a good person. Now I know what. Right. I totally forgot where I heard about this from. It was just one of my viewers sent me a Skype. I misremembered and thought I heard about it from the mainstream media. No, somebody told me about it. Yeah. That explains it, yeah. That's why I initially thought it was a white guy. I thought I heard about it from the mainstream media. Nope. Craddock's relatives have yet to speak out about the shooting, but in a handwritten note taped to the door of the family's home in Yorktown, they offered their condolences to the victims. What the hell do they have to be sorry about? Well, maybe they were a shitty family. I can't imagine he had a good childhood with what he did. Although people say that Jeffrey Dahmer was raised normally, I don't know. I think he must have been running interference for his parents. I mean, it seems hard to believe that he was raised by normal people in a normal household, what with the stuff he did, right? They found skulls in his house. He was using his soup bowls. They found barrels full of rotting bodies. Apparently, he didn't get the right acid. I don't know. That the acid he poured in there to decompose him wasn't working too good. The family of Dwayne Craddock wishes to send our heartfelt condolences to the victims. We are grieving the loss of our loved one. At this time, we wish to focus on the victims and the lives lost during yesterday's tragic event. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families of those who lost lives and they're recovering in the hospital. And those recovering in the hospital as of Saturday afternoon, 3 of the 4 surviving victims were in critical condition. Black guy, anger management issues, very violent, failed marriage, former military career that ended abruptly, and the military doesn't want to tell us why, probably because he had a Section 8 issues. He was a nut job, essentially. Quickly spiraling down into insanity, maybe. Or at the very least unstable, who managed to get out of the military and then get a degree in civil engineering, okay? Because if he had been a degreed civil engineer before he went in, he probably wouldn't have left as a specialist. That's a non-com. That's a non-commissioned officer's rank, so he would have been an officer. So he went to university after he got out of the military, so he was at least able to hold it together to get a degree. But he had mental health issues, obviously. And as you age, oftentimes mental health issues get worse. They become more exacerbated, and it's clearly the case here. Yeah. So, gee, being a wacky, crazy mass shooter has nothing to do with race and has everything to do with your mental stability and perhaps the narrative that you're given? No, couldn't be. It's all Whitey. Oh, Whitey. Only Whitey does this stuff. Okay. Oh, my. Interesting. Man of color. Man of color. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Now, this interests me. So, any of you know that crappy show, The Walking Dead? You know, the one with all the lesbos and the gay people from different races. Because, you know, nobody else in a post-apocalyptic zombie land has any preference for people of their own race. They don't want to bang and munch the muff of people who are black and they're white, or they're white and the other one's Latino, or you're Latino and you want a black person. No, it's never anybody from your own race. Never! Well, it turns out they shoot in Georgia. Well, AMC is talking about pulling productions from Georgia and taking the Walking Dead franchise with them. Goodbye. Good luck. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Yeah, who gives a fuck? Did you see the last season of that show? Wow, that was bad. God damn. I mean, I guess the show can't continue to operate unless the people living in those 3 communities, what was it, Hilltop, Alexandria, and the Kingdom, I guess they all have to have some kind of common foe to fight against, or the show would just disappear. No antagonist. But, come on. A bunch of people walking around with dead faces on. For those of you who don't know this last season of the show, a spoiler alert, there's this group that poses as dead people. Now, I didn't think that the dead were intelligent enough to look at you and they'd know whether or not you're one of theirs and whether or not they want to eat you. I thought it was by sense of smell. Remember in the past how when they wanted to move among the dead, they would smear themselves with the guts and goop from zombie bodies so they would smell just like zombies and then they could walk among them? That I can understand and believe because that's a very primal, very, very primal sense, but vision, very advanced. 1/3 of our brain, in fact, is taken up by processing what comes into our eyes, by our sight. So we have some of the most advanced eyes on the planet. Dead, interpreting that, and knowing that they're dead and having enough self-awareness to spot other people and recognize that they're just like them, the dead don't have that kind of self-awareness. Yet I'm supposed to believe that a bunch of people are cutting dead faces off of dead people and wearing them, and the dead are like, oh, that's believable. I think he's one of us. Don't eat him. So stupid. So that's the main group of antagonists in this last season, a bunch of rogue losers walking around the countryside, finding food somehow, I don't know, scavenging it, Yeah, God forbid we join an actual established community. That's not the future. The future is walking around with the dead. And the entire season is just, the back and forth between these two groups, these loser people walking around pretending to be undead, and the three communities, right, who have now banded together. It was really bad, by the way. Really, really fucking bad. Record low ratings. Yeah, AMC could pull out. They're probably going to pull out because they're not going to get a 10th season. No, they'll run for 10. They'll run for another season because we have to see what happened to Rick, right? Yeah. Like I said, it was really bad. It's no loss to Georgia. I love this. These liberals, they push until they get an overwhelming amount of power. And then, when they push too far, too fast, and they get some pushback, oh, we're going to impose consequences on you. You push too far. You pushed too far, you got a little bit of power, and it went to your fucking head. And you became power drunk and power hungry. And now you're threatening consequences. Ooh, I'm shaking. We're going to pull out of Georgia. And go where? Alabama? Oh, they're doing the same thing. We're going to go somewhere else in the South where the people are poor and dumb and conservative, you idiot. You ever heard of the Bible Belt, moron? Yeah. Oh, we'll find somewhere to go. It'll charge more money. It'll cost more. Yeah. Good luck with that, pinheads. We're going to value ideology over profit. Oh, yeah, where have I heard that before? Hey, that's every liberal out there. They don't care about profit. Well, they care about getting paid. They want to get their fucking paycheck. Oh, profit? I don't care. I get paid. That's fine. I think profit's evil. Yeah. I wouldn't surprise me if they pull up stakes and move filming of The Walking Dead to another state. I say good luck. Bye-bye. And I think that the fucking governor there, who's a woman, it's so funny. They talk about how all these men voted for that. Hey, pinheads, the governor's a woman, and she's the one that signed the bill into law, you idiots. Yeah. Well, we're going to get them now. We're going to take Walking Dead out of Georgia. What do you think? You're going to change their minds? I can't change yours. You're ideologically polarized. You believe this shit based on your inability to think. Well, their beliefs are based on actual thinking and real morals. Not lacking the ability to think for yourself and just adopting the thoughts, the ideologies, and the viewpoints of others who came before you because you're too fucking lazy to think for yourself. So their beliefs are actually founded in something. Yours are not. Something real, that is. Like their own ability to think and reason and use logic. While yours are just based in me feelings. So yeah, I'm sure they'll cave in because you're taking the production of your crappy little TV show somewhere else. Your crappy little TV show with a bunch of lesbians and bisexuals and trannies. Oh, a bunch of deviant people. Yeah, I'm sure they'll miss you. Bye-bye. Yeah, I don't think so. AMC is the latest major entertainment company to reconsider producing in Georgia. Notice they haven't committed to leaving yet, right? Because they'll lose that nice little 20% tax break they're getting. In the face of the anti-abortion legislation signed into law in May. Per Forbes, AMC will reevaluate its activity. Yeah, we're going to threaten to leave. And then they'll buckle. And they won't pass that law. My, oh my. Isn't that called extortion? Isn't that illegal? Could somebody go and arrest the president of AMC, please? We won't do that. These are the people that really run the country. Oh, okay. They're still puppets too, by the way. Yeah. In the state, should the bill go into effect, we're going to reevaluate, which means the long-running hit The Walking Dead could look for a new home for the first time in its 10-season run. I don't think so. But if you do, what do I care? Per a statement made by an AMC spokesperson, if this highly restrictive registration goes into effect, highly restrictive, oh yeah. Don't have casual sex so much that even if you're using birth control and condoms, you're popping out a kid because you're banging a new guy every day. And if you do, there'll be fucking consequences. And even if you do, you can still get an abortion before week 6. Oh, that's so restrictive. Yeah, be responsible for my actions. I don't want to be restricted that way. We will reevaluate our activity in Georgia. Similar bills, some even more restrictive, have been passed in multiple states. That should clue you into something. They're going to continue to get passed, okay? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? All right, where are you going to go with the South? That is poor, okay? The South is, on average, pretty poor, which is why they're willing to give you these big tax breaks. Why don't you go to New York? Why don't you go film in upstate New York? Oh, they're rich. They're rich compared to the fucking South. They won't give us these tax breaks. We'll pay a mint to film there. Oh, well. You might actually have to pay for your so-called morals that you didn't even choose, mind you, that they're just included like a package deal in this ideology that you bought into. Highly restrictive. This is likely to be a long and complicated fight for you. Yeah, you think that these conservative lawmakers who got into office because their constituents are pissed with your progressive liberal bullshit, do you think they're going to give an inch? They're just going to laugh at you. Go ahead. Go leave. You're not fighting anything. I know you want to believe you're fighting something. I know you want to think you're some kind of hero like Jonah fucking Ark, but you ain't. You're not a revolutionary. Okay? You're not fighting the good fight. You're not a hero. You're a loser. Yeah, this will be a long and complicated fight. Why don't you just get the fucking politics out of business, huh? Why don't you just not fight? Why don't you not try to fucking extort people, huh? How about that? We're watching very closely. I can tell you, I guarantee you that the conservative politicians in Georgia don't give a fuck about you and your AMC bullshit. They're tired of your crap. You want to take your little pissant TV show? Go ahead. Bye-bye. Georgia has been the primary shooting location for The Walking Dead since season 1, but it's not just the current ratings juggernaut that's important to the state. This is you important. You're part of the problem, the mainstream media. I'm reading this on fucking Yahoo. Former series lead Andrew Lincoln is set to star in a series of films set in the Walking Dead universe, and future spin-offs could also be shot in the state. Though overseas locations have been considered to better accommodate the UK-based Lincoln, the developments in Georgia only further discourage AMC from returning to the series' first home. Why? Oh, because you're fucking Hollywood liberal pinheads, so you're to the left, and everything you do is affected by your politics. Yeah. You lack perspective. The sheer number of Hollywood companies to express disapproval. What the fuck do I care? What do you run the world? That's the problem. You've been running the world for a long fucking time. And now you don't get your way, you throw a hissy fit. To express disapproval of the proposed legislation continues to grow, if not their actual commitments. AMC joins Netflix, Disney, Warner Media, NBC, CBS, Viacom, and Sony as entertainment companies that have announced hesitancy towards keeping their productions in the state, should the bill take effect. Though none have begun pulling productions from Georgia or committed to start doing so until the courts have rendered a final ruling. Yeah. The Walking Dead has been renewed for a 10th season. Really? Yikes. I thought season 9 was a disaster. And it's expected to premiere in fall 2019. Fear the Walking Dead season 5 premieres Sunday. Ugh. Get an imagination, Hollywood. You know, they're remaking a Batman as well. Oh, God. Like, I really want to see another Batman franchise. Christian Bale was the best fucking Batman in the universe. He made the 3 best Batman movies that'll ever exist. This new pretty boy dude, who, by the way, is older than Christian Bale was when he played Batman in Batman Begins. I don't want to see that. Fuck him. Spindly-looking soy boy motherfucker. Fuck off. I'm done with the Batman bullshit. I don't want to see that anymore. Too many spin-offs. It's like Spider-Man. Remember how they handled that guy? What was his name? He was in that crappy movie with the horse. And he rode a horse, and then he was in 3 Batman movies. Tobey Maguire! Yeah. Of course, he was too old when he started. Wasn't he like 50 when he played a high school student or something? He was like in his mid to late 20s. I don't know. Maybe 30, playing an 18-year-old. Not believable. But he was but he was the best Spider-Man. And then they fucked it up with that 3rd movie. The 2nd was pretty good with Dr. Rock. But then they had that 3rd movie. And they just had too many bad guys. There was no character development of the antagonist. There was no real story. It was just, throw in as many bad guys as we can. It'll look so cool. Yeah, that was crap. Crap! Oh, boy. And then they've ruined it with all these new with these new Spider-Mans. And you got that annoying kid that was in the Avengers. Oh, God. That's actually about the right age, but I don't like him. All right, let's move on here. What else we got? Cortez again. Okay, Virginia Beach resort shooter again. Sophie Turner. I don't give a fuck about her. I think it's kind of funny, though. Dopey broad. That's that broad from Game of Thrones. Yeah. The redhead. Is she a redhead, really? I don't know what her real hair, what her real hair color is. Anybody out there know? I don't know. Apparently she got married. How old is she? How old is Sophie Turner? My Yahoo ain't working. I'm just going through Yahoo News, but whenever I click on, try to search something, it don't work. I told you, my internet is almost completely down. I mean, I can literally just upload this stream, and that's it. All right, so the picture ain't opening. I don't know what her hair color is. Who gives a fuck? Sophie Turner got married to Joe Jonas. Who the fuck is he? Supposed to say a secret, but then Diplo live streamed it. Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas surprised fans last month when they casually popped over to a Las Vegas wedding chapel and tied the knot after attending the Billboard Music Awards. That marriage ain't gonna last. When was the last time one of these last-minute fucking marriages last? Let's go to Vegas and get married. Yeah. They don't make it to the 10-year mark, okay? I would be amazed if these two make it to the 5-year mark, but definitely not the 10-year mark. Of course, seeing as the majority of marriages, first marriages, don't make it to the 10-year mark. Oh, this ain't gonna make it either. Yeah, the couple was engaged, but fans were expecting a big summer wedding. Fans? Yeah, right. Circuses and treats. Yeah, fans. We give such a shit about Sophie Turner and Game of Thrones and fucking Walking Dead and football, baseball. We don't pay any attention to what's going on in the world. Right. We don't give a fuck. Couple was engaged, big summer wedding, not a super under the radar ceremony featuring ring pops and an Elvis impersonator. He looks weak. He looks like a weenie. He looks kind of effeminate. Yeah, I don't see that lasting. As it turns out, Turner and Jonas weren't planning on making their marriage public. Knowledge quite yet, but then something called Diplo shot video of it and posted it to Instagram. It's tricky when people live stream it. Turner said in a recently published interview with Porter Magazine, it took place just a week after the semi-spontaneous wedding. She's not mad, though. It would have been better if no one had known, but I actually think it was funny. She's probably the one that leaked it. Oh, she's blonde. Is she blonde? Do I see dark roots? She's not a bad-looking broad. Not my type, though. I don't think she's very attractive, but I know a lot of people think she's attractive. Yeah, I don't think so. But regardless, okay. I give that a year. Yeah, I give it a year. He'll cheat on her or something. I don't know. It won't last. These Las Vegas ceremonies never last. Generally speaking, now this isn't always true, of course, but this was certainly true in the past. The amount of work and effort and preparation that you put into your wedding is emblematic of how long it'll last. The less you put in, the less likely it is to last. Let's just pop over to Vegas. Yeah, have some little consideration for our marriage and the longevity of it, that I'll just go to Vegas and have an Elvis impersonator and pay some guy $50 to marry us. Oh, so romantic. Yeah, that's gonna last. Not. Oy vey. I love these dopey Hollywood stars. They're gonna fucking tell us how to live our lives. Abortion, good. Kill babies, good. Gay, good. Straight, bad. Evil, white, cisgender people. Giving white people jobs, bad. Giving black people jobs, good. We need 50-50. We need 80-20. 80% black people, 20% white, even though the population is only 13% black. What happened to equality? No equality. We want diversity, which means no white people. Yeah. I want these people telling me how to live my lives. People who pop over to fucking Vegas and get married with a fucking Elvis impersonator. Yeah. People who fucking play make-believe for a living. Why are you listening to these people? Why are you following these people? I'm good at playing cowboys and Indians. It's professional LARPing. I get paid, though. You're all suckers for paying my salary by watching this garbage on TV and in the movie theater and worshiping me. I have a 90 IQ, but I make believe so good. Yeah, don't listen to these people. You out of your mind? Oy vey. Oy vey. Oh, man. Kind of like Ocasio-Cortez, though. But she's an actress, too. Yeah, she's an actress, too. She got the job by I think it was her brother referred her. The Justice Democrats were looking for somebody to campaign for her district, meaning they were doing a casting call and looking for somebody to who was a good fit for the role, and they found Ocasio-Cortez. Yeah, she's a good actress, and she really appeals to so many people. Dumb, she's dumb, very dumb, but charismatic, and she's a good puppet. She's a good puppet. She's a good actress. Yeah, she'll be perfect. We can control her entirely. She's not smart enough to do the job herself. She needs us. So that's great, because we're too, we're intelligent, but we're not charismatic. People don't relate to us. We're already elitist scumbags. Nobody likes us. We're too arrogant. I mean, people don't like us right from the start. We don't have good personalities. But her, yeah, people relate to her. Dumb. She's just dumb enough. Just dumb enough to be relatable. Yeah. But at the same time, very charismatic. Yeah. Bartender. You need to pay more money to people. That's still, I just can't get over that. Waiters and waitresses making $15 an hour? Yeah. Why don't we just put a fucking tray on Sparky's back? He'll be the new waiter. Can you imagine dog waiters? That'd be great, man. I mean, I guess the dog wouldn't be able to keep the tray level. But I've seen some dogs walking around with like a glass on their fucking nose or on their head, and they're walking around balancing it. So I bet you could train a dog to be a waiter. Like strap a tray to their back and then send them to the table. And there's a little notepad there. You got to write your order. Okay, just tick. And then he goes back to the kitchen. And the chef or whatever cook, yeah, okay, the boxes are ticked for what they want to cook the food. You put it in the dog's back, the dog goes out, they get their food. You could train a dog to do that. He couldn't take the order, but otherwise, yeah. You could put like a little mini kiosk in the middle of the table, like they got in Japan and some shit. Push one, whoop, hamburger. Push 2 fries, whoop. Dog brings out your food. I guess there's always the risk the dog could eat it, but it's still cheaper. It's still cheaper in the long run than having a waiter that you have to pay $15 an hour. It's crazy. I do not want there to be any jobs in the food and beverage industry because it's like indentured servitude. So I will just raise the wages so much that employers cannot afford to pay waiters and waitresses and bartenders. It will be the Jetsons soon. There will be robots, robot waiters, and robot bartenders. No more indentured servitude. I am a hero. Ocasio-Cortez tells herself. Yeah. You put millions of people out of work, pinhead. But hey, the low-skilled, low-IQ people, they don't need jobs. Let's get rid of all the low-skill, low-IQ jobs. But the only jobs out there are for fucking engineers and doctors and lawyers. Yeah, because the people with the 85 IQ, they can do those jobs, right? Right? Like the civil engineer that just killed a bunch of people. Because he's a low-IQ moron who got his fucking degree to affirmative action programs. Yeah, that worked out good, didn't it, AOC? Oh, boy. Yeah, she's a real Rhodes Scholar, isn't she? Okay, that's about it for this episode of The Realist Philosopher. If you enjoy, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. Although I cannot view my channel right now, hopefully when I come back on, there will be a lot of subscriptions. And also, if you would like to support my content, go to therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That's therealistphilosopher.com/donate. You will find several different methods you can donate by. If you don't like Patreon, you can donate to Subscribestar. If you don't like Subscribestar, you can donate using TipeeeStream. TipeeeStream is a one-time donation option. Subscribestar, I believe you could donate one time or maybe it's monthly. And I have a Patreon that has a 3-time a week per piece donation option and a once a month. So lots of ways you can donate to my channel. If you appreciate my humor and the red pills I throw out there, meaning truth, reality in its most raw, real form, then please feel free to donate to my channel. And also, if you'd like to be on my future shows, if you'd like to be on one, please feel free to email me at admin@therealistphilosopher.com. ADMIN at therealistphilosopher.com. If you email me, tell me what you'd like to be on, why you'd like to be on, what you'd like to discuss, and we can set up a time. Or if you have a subject you want me to discuss, I will consider it. So you send me an email. Also, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Gab. Yep. You'll find those links in the description. And I guess that's it. I will be on again tomorrow, same time, same channel. So I hope you tune in to watch. And if you're on DLive, sorry, I do not view chat even when my internet connection is working perfectly, because even when it's working perfectly, it's shit. So the more bandwidth I'm using to open up a bunch of random windows is less bandwidth that is being devoted to the show, and thereby I might start dropping frames and picture quality might start suffering, and then the stream could stop working entirely, and that would be a problem. But I do check it usually when I have an internet connection that's working. I usually check it after the show. So if you'd like to make a donation on DLive, you can also donate on DLive. I am on DLive. It's a semi-new platform that is similar to YouTube, except it has free speech, unlike YouTube. You can say what you want, and you won't be censored. I believe it's based on blockchain technology, and they also have their own Bitcoin. You can purchase some Bitcoins. They're called Lino coins. Right, it's not a Bitcoin. It's a cryptocurrency, right? Bitcoin is a very specific cryptocurrency. I know, okay. You geeky pinheads out there don't need to inform me of the specifics. I realize that it's crypto coin, and Bitcoin is just one of many crypto coins. So they have their own crypto coin called Lino coin. You purchase it, and then you can dole it out in the form of lemons and ice creams, and each has a different denomination value in regards to the Lino coin. And so that's another way that you can make a donation to me. I believe PewDiePie is on DLive now, and the picture there is pretty good quality. The stream there works very well. And so you go there, you can make a donation, or you can just watch there if you're tired of YouTube, like I myself am, and many are. That's it. All right, guys, I'm the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day.